camera's running. Oh, we're
Oh,
live
now y'all got quiet.
Yeah, now we're quiet. Now we're quiet.
So Steven's idea to do the pre-show banter.
Shenanigans. Yeah, pre-show shenanigans.
Yeah.
So what we were talking about, lawsuits, septic systems,
Bourbon.
and wells,
Yeah.
and how they don't test the wells when they drill them, right?
That's what we're thinking.
Just
That's what you said.
Better test that water.
Well, most importantly, having someone that can guide you through that, right? Like with
The
new
process.
construction.
Yeah.
Yes. And now you've learned for the next time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you'll
All
figure
kinds
out a
of
way
fun
to
stuff
fight for
figure it
her.
out.
Well, the biggest problem for homeowners is you don't know what you don't know.
Bye,
Yeah.
Amber. Everybody say bye to Amber.
Bye, Amber.
Thank you. You can have some bourbon with us if you want to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. Most of our buyers have regular full-time jobs. Our full-time job is doing this. So we are that resource for them to be able to navigate all of these different avenues that you wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to trust your vendor to drill that well and it's going to be
Yeah.
okay, but that's not the case.
Right.
That's why having that buyer
Do you want some
consultation at the
bourbon
beginning
with
is
us,
so
Courtney?
important.
No, thank you. Gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm huge like that. Do you want me to take the doorbell out while you're in here for tonight?
I don't care.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It won't bother
Do
me.
you want me to leave the door open? Because it'll lock at 4:55, and then anybody that goes to the bathroom will need a password to get back in.
Yeah, leave it open.
Leave it open?
What's the password? Remax?
2901.
We aren't live.
Disregard that.
Can you see? Can anybody see what?
We gotta change that.
What does that say? Great.
They can't see
Good,
you.
great lineup.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Is that Mark?
Thanks, Mark.
Is it
Mark, yeah.
Yes.
I was looking down there. That's my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I make it bigger?
Yes. Well, no, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, well, these
No,
are
you're
pre-show shenanigans. Yeah, pre-show shenanigans.
Yeah, it doesn't start till 5. You're
It's
good.
supposed to be really
Okay.
funky.
So, I'll leave the door open.
Yeah. Courtney, wave. You should wave.
You did-
Yeah.
you did-
I'm gonna
you
get
want-
a total full of myself.
Yeah, you gotta get.
A little to the right. A little to the right. Yeah.
Yeah. There you are.
What was that? What was the password again?
Y'all have fun.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Yeah.
we all did
Thank you. So if anybody breaks in, it's me.
once. Yeah, I don't check it very often.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Yeah.
And just close it when you need.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Courtney.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey, Dawn. Dawn from Virginia.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome.
Yes, she is.
So good. So today, I think we're still a little bit early, aren't we?
Yeah.
4 minutes.
4
Yeah.
minutes. We want to do a cheers? 4 minutes early?
Yeah, yeah.
To
Salute.
friends in high places.
Cheers, guys.
To Remax.
I got it. Okay, all right.
Better make eye contact. Means not good sex for 7 years if you don't. Whenever you cheer somebody.
Oh, we are shenanigans.
I didn't know. Not with each other.
Glad we got that out of the way. Well, we did say pre-show shenanigans.
Yeah.
We did.
See, that's right. Okay, but I am so excited to have y'all here. And I'm super, like, y'all came to Wilmington.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
You made the drive.
What was how long did it take you from Winston?
3.5.
Same, yeah, 326 about, yeah.
326. Not 3.5. 326.
No. Well, we have the bypass that was just put in on 74, which you take 74 all the way. So
Which makes things
that really helps.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we used to have to go through all of those stoplight
I think
towns.
it saves you
Yeah.
30
It's like
minutes.
speeding ticket. Yeah, speeding ticket central because you go from like 70 to 45.
Brutal.
Super.
They were waiting as I got into Wilmington. There was like
Oh,
3 or 4
here?
cops.
Yeah.
I drove by too, and
Oh,
they
did
pulled
you-
and they
did
pulled
you?
out. I was like, oh my gosh! But luckily,
So
they
you have
just
to come in
sped by.
over the bridge.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Hey,
So
see ya.
that sucks because they're redoing the bridge.
I did take a wrong turn. I will
Yeah.
admit. I took a wrong turn and it looped me back in.
Hey, see ya.
What-
I'll
Sorry.
see ya.
It's not doing me any good.
Yeah, we did early shenanigans.
Yeah. Thank you for trying, Grace.
Yeah, pre-show
You could
shenanigans.
should come back here and say hey, like Courtney did. Hello. Thanks for helping getting us set up. Hey, can everybody hear us? Sia, can you hear us? Joseph, Dawn, Mark, anybody hear us?
Anybody out there?
Anybody?
I wonder-
Anybody out there?
Let's see.
Yeah. I'm assuming everybody can hear us because
Yeah.
they're not. Usually people come up and say, I can't hear you.
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yes. Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah, thanks, Don.
Oh,
Awesome.
Mark.
Yeah. Awesome. And yes. Thank you, friends.
Is Joseph gonna chime in?
What'd you say?
There's a 30-second delay.
30 seconds.
Well, up there.
Yes.
It's not 30 seconds. It's
Yeah,
like 5 seconds. But
Oh.
anyway,
Let's get
so we are talking about buyer agency today and why buyers need us, what value we bring, and the importance of having somebody on your side. So awesome. Got a huge panel. Everybody drove down to Wilmington. Thank you. Got Steven from the Charlotte area.
Hey.
Mandy from Jacksonville. Sorry. I was going to say my neighboring, but then I can't get out. Yes. We've got Brandon from Raleigh. Thank you, Brandon. And we've got Kelli from Greensboro, Winston-Salem area. Woo! So super excited. And this, I think, was this your idea to come here live?
I don't know.
Your idea?
I think it was
I
Steven.
thought we needed to do a panel of North Carolina.
It
people.
wasn't
I like
gonna be
that.
live, and then he told me I was driving down here after celebration.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
my wife left me. So.
Yeah.
He was allowed. That's good. Yeah, so we've got North Carolina panel. I forgot that it is a North Carolina panel.
Yeah.
So fabulous. So who wants
That
to
was the
start?
intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
the
the
intent.
Yes. And I did invite Andrea too. And then she was going to try to come and then she got busy at the last minute.
Yeah. It's tough being a successful realtor.
Yes. That's what I'm
Not-
saying. Got to
So we're not.
Not that
We're
we're
here.
not because we're here.
No, but you took the time out and
Yeah.
saw
That's
the
right.
importance. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So buyer agency. Who wants to start the conversation?
Yeah, I don't mind going first. So I think buyer representation is really important, largely because when my buyers come to me, they don't have the resources of navigating through our home buying process. So, for example, contracts, attorneys, home inspectors, all of these things, you can Google all of this stuff, but you will spend hours and hours and hours just trying to find the right person with the best reviews. And what benefit you get from a realtor who's been doing this for years and years and years. I have a relationship with each one of these vendors. I know what attorneys are going to be good. Their title work is going to be clean. I know what inspectors are going to come in and do a really thorough job on this. And I can count on that because I've had those year-long relationships with them. So having those resources as a buyer agent for the buyer, I think, is absolutely vital. Not to mention our strategies and how we write our offers, knowing market trends, days on market, being able to advise buyers on, hey, this property has been on the market for X amount of time.
Mhm.
I think that we could negotiate with them. Or, hey, you've got to make a decision on, do you love this property because there's 4 offers on it right now? So we can give them that advice. Whereas if, most people were doing this solo, everyone has their own job. This is our first and primary job, and that representation is of the highest importance to them. So, yeah.
Awesome. Mandy,
I was gonna say, I just got my ABR,
which is
the accredited buyer representative. But I feel, at least in my market specifically, we have a lot of first-time home buyers because obviously we have the VA. But I think, especially because NAR actually identified Jacksonville as the most transient in the whole entire country area. I try to think long-term, and
you think
that's
that's
the
because
thing.
of the military?
Absolutely, because of the military. But it's like thinking long term, like I can give them information about the neighborhood, whether or not it's going to sell, whether it's an up market, down market, that kind of thing, what would make a good neighborhood for a rental property, because obviously sometimes that's what has to be done. Just that kind of thing. Also, obviously what he said with vendors, we do this every day, and I was obviously see what goes on the MLS, so we can give you an idea on what to offer to protect you, especially because North Carolina has due diligence fee. there's things that I point out in homes that if I see them that I think are like red flags, that kind of thing. But that's what I do for buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I 100% agree with both of you. I think the education, the experience, the people that we have on our side, the team that we have working behind us with appraisers, surveyors, lenders, attorneys, home inspectors, well inspectors. I mean,
Yeah.
literally every single thing. But also, when you go into a new home community, I think that's where we show a lot of value as well, because that on-site agent is going to smile and look real cute and tell you everything that they could do for you, but they don't represent you.
Who do they
They-
work for?
Yeah,
They work
they
for
work
the
for the
builder.
builder. They work for the builder, and they get bonuses if they get so many under contract per month. So they're just trying to hustle it out,
Yep.
and they're going to tell you anything that you want to hear and then not be able to back it up because it's not true. So that's where I think that's where I show a lot of value as well, is to go in there and have that representation and really truly fight every step of the way, if needed. And hopefully it's a smooth transaction, but if it's not, then you have us, a whole team behind you, and our experience to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's stemming off Steven because he said most of the stuff.
He did
So
it.
thank
He
you.
did.
Thank you. The I've got a guy mentality where whatever you need can be taken care of. And it does come back to the fact that we've been working with these people for 3 or 4 years in our careers, and they have the trust back and forth with each other. But it's more so that when you need a favor or there's a little thing that needs to be done, they're going to do it and you're not going to eat the cost of it.
Yeah.
Whereas certain forms might be $300 and they're doing it for $150.
Yep.
So there's a lot you can save in just tiny little fees that will add up over time.
Yeah.
And specifically to the new builder deal, this one was the new builder's fault to give them a little
Yeah.
leniency. I had a referral, and they unfortunately, we kept going back and forth. I never got to talk to them. I kept asking the agent when they were going to call. 3 weeks later, she called back and said they had gone under contract. And I got a call. That was in November, right before Triple Play. 3 weeks ago, I got a call from the agent saying, can you save the deal? Because they are now stuck in a hotel and they're about to be charged $500 a day for violating the builder's contract
Yeah.
because they didn't have someone representing them and quit their job 2 days before closing.
Ouch.
They got the clear to close
And thought it was
and thought everything was fine.
Yeah.
So they quit and they
Don't
verbal-
quit your job.
They
Please,
do on
buyers.
the last hour. They do a verbal check,
Yeah.
and they got caught on that.
And don't buy a car.
Verification of
But we
employment.
closed.
furniture.
Yeah.
But we closed Friday,
Okay, good.
So,
So you made it happen.
and they're not being charged for $500 a day.
Nice. So that's
Hence why you
Yeah.
should do that.
Yeah.
absolutely.
The caveat is the seller was paying the commission,
Yeah.
but I came into the deal 3 days.
Yeah.
So
Kelly, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, for all of these reasons that y'all have said, buyer agency is so important. And I always do a buyer consultation with my clients, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you bought 10 homes. Like, the market is different, multiple times throughout the year, and of course, year to year. And I just want to make sure everybody's well educated and set up for success so that when they find the home that they want, they have their best foot forward and have expectations set to be able to get the house that they want.
Right, put them in the best negotiating
Yeah,
position.
Exactly. So we always do a buyer consult at the very beginning to kind of set those expectations and to outline how this is going to move forward so that they're just well educated and agreed. Like, we've got vendors and we do know a guy and all of those things. And it's even with new construction, you absolutely please use a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so I was saying, and I wanted to do a shout out real quick. We got Cindy Banks from Chicago. Hey, Cindy. We've got Anne Marie from New Jersey, right?
Jersey,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania border. Yes, we've got Susan Reno from Atlanta. Oh, y'all are pulling my brain over here. Where everybody's from. And I could barely see the names, so I can't really see what the comments are. So maybe one of the younger eyes.
Great panel. Who doesn't love North Carolina?
See,
Love
I
y'all.
needed the younger eyes. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, but I had a situation, and it was my daughter that bought the house, and I was just telling these guys before we went live that situation was she started having mold issues, and she started having them pretty early on after she bought, and she had contacted the builder, and the builder would come out and they couldn't figure out where the water leak was coming from, and they took off the siding and it wasn't coming from there, and They called the HVAC guy, couldn't figure out if it was coming from there. The builder did do some measures trying to make it right. But at the end of the day, he didn't make it right. He actually aggravated the situation worse because he sent his contractor in to cut a hole into the garage wall so that they could see where the leak was. And that made all the mold spores, it was encapsulated and they went everywhere. My daughter ended up being hospitalized because of it, because of the mold. And at the end, the builder tried to say, well, okay, keep in mind, it costs $25,000 at this point to get it fixed. And the builder was like, I'm willing to give $5,000 towards it. And that's where I stepped in and I said, listen, my team and I have sold 17 homes in this neighborhood. If she's having a problem, everybody's having a problem. I'm going to pay my mold guy to go in every single one of these homes and get them all inspected unless you cover this 100%. And at the end of the day, he did, but he wouldn't have if it was just my daughter, because she's just one homeowner. And even though that sucks, but when a builder gets your money, they move on to the next buyer. They don't really care. And that's horrible. That is horrible, but that is reality. But when you have an agent on your team, especially a top tier agent, you've got that back and that support, and you've got them fighting for you and get what needs to be done.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to go into court unrepresented without an attorney,
Correct.
right? So why would you want to purchase one of the largest investments of your entire life without representation, without someone who does this on a day-to-day basis for you? It just, I don't think it makes sense.
No, I agree.
Derek Harkin said hi, by the way.
Derek.
And so did Maureen. Yeah.
Hi, Maureen. I love Maureen. Yes, hey guys. And then, so anything else on buyer representation? I think we kind of covered.
Yeah.
Well, I think North Carolina, I've heard this from other people across the country. Our state is very unique in its due diligence fee, what a due diligence
only
period
one.
is.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, caveat
Yep.
emptor, buyer beware. So and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think North Carolina is more of a pay to play state.
Yeah.
Like in order for you to go under contract on a property, you have to submit a due diligence fee. And that
Which is a non-refundable fee.
Yeah, negotiated. There is a rule of thumb, but there's no set number. It's negotiated between you and the seller. And of course, as a buyer agent, we want our buyers to be in with as little money as possible in that due diligence fee. And then
you're also getting our experience.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could come in and say it is all negotiated, but what we're seeing right now is this seems to work, and it's good for the buyer. It's good for the seller, but it gets you accepted without spending tremendous amount on non-refundable money. And when we say non-refundable,
Yeah.
for any reason,
Yeah.
non-refundable, unless the seller decides not to sell the house,
Yeah.
it's
Or
non-refundable.
can't convey clear title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean and
Yeah.
clear
At the-
title.
at the-
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you get that back, and I think that's also
So
important to know.
what does
It's
Cindy
still-
say? What is that? What is
The due
What is that?
diligence.
Due
Yeah,
diligence.
so the due diligence, what I tell everybody, due diligence is very similar to earnest money. And if you're talking about you're buying $100,000 house, you have $1,000 put toward due diligence and $1,000 towards earnest, then at closing, you're going to own $98,000. The difference is that earnest money is refundable. Due diligence is not refundable.
Yeah.
And you pay the due diligence the minute you go under contract.
Yeah.
So if something comes up on a home inspection, the seller does not have to do it. Our contracts read that you're buying the house as is, where is in current condition.
When it goes into their bank account directly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
The
a
kicker
check.
is
Directly
that's not
to
gonna
the
seller.
straight
Yeah.
out. So it's
Yeah,
And-
it's a check to them. It's a check to them. Some people even Venmo it to them.
I was gonna say Zelle is
Yep.
big. Venmo. Yeah.
Didn't know
It's
that.
on the contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that.
Here, but I don't do it.
We
Well,
Zelle
we gotta have
the
sometimes.
I
due
try to
diligence fee.
avoid that.
Yeah.
Play.
Now, one thing with
Sorry,
Venmo
what?
that was a little kink in it is that there was a little charge for Venmo, like a $5 charge,
Yeah.
but it caused my buyer, it caused a little bit of turmoil that where that $5 went to, and it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also the trouble though with limits on how much.
Yeah,
you
how much
guys
you can send.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like 5,000 a week.
Yeah.
Well, and then our due diligence period is paid for by that fee. That
Yeah,
due
so it's your
diligence
right
fee.
to terminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the buyer can terminate and for any or no reason at all, but with the risk of losing that due diligence fee. And one other smaller part is, as long as you go through closing, you do get that as a credit back
Right.
to you
Yeah.
at the closing table.
Yeah.
Your due diligence fee and your earnest money.
That's
Towards your closing
Goes
costs.
Yeah.
Towards your
purchase
closing
price.
costs.
Yeah. And that's very different than most states.
Oh, it's different than every state.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, New York, that's a whole, people move, our number one people are moving here from New York, New Jersey. And that's always, I mean, New York, they have attorneys that write the contract.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
York, I mean, it's an attorney state. I mean, we're an attorney state.
Yeah.
But the attorneys on our end, you just see them on closing day
Yeah.
and they're just doing the paperwork. But in New York, they actually write the contract.
Yeah.
They actually do the negotiations. They do all of that. And it's a 90-day close.
Yeah.
Where here we have 30-day
Yeah.
close. Is that what you're
21
saying?
to 30
Yeah.
days.
You
Yeah.
can do,
Is
yeah.
military
If your
different?
lender's good,
Yeah, 30 days.
30
Yeah.
days.
unless the VA hiccups on time.
Well,
Yeah.
in New York also, don't they allow inspections before the actual contract? I think some places
Yeah.
do.
Mhm.
And like, that's not here at all.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to pay that
Yeah.
before.
You're
any
not allowed to do an
inspections.
inspection before
Without.
you're under contract.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense to. I mean,
Well,
here
not
it
in our
doesn't,
state, yeah.
because you could. You're not under contract, so you could be paying for something that you never actually get.
Right.
Never actually get the house. So it could go under contract with somebody else by them.
Ooh, Kim wrote a paragraph.
Yeah.
It's
And
in
that's
Texas,
what-
it's called an option period and fee. It used to go to the seller, but now it goes to title, and title refunds it back to buyer on closing or to seller if it terminates.
See,
Yeah,
that's
so we don't-
commercial in North Carolina.
Yeah, we don't have title. I mean, we have title here, but title doesn't do our closings.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is a check that goes directly to the seller, and you never get it back.
Derek said he writes the contract. I think,
Ah.
isn't it specific to different regions? of North-
Maybe.
Do you write the
York?
contract or do you fill in the blanks?
Yeah, we fill in
Because
blanks.
we got slapped for that before. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have,
We're
we're not
not
attorneys.
attorneys.
Yeah, we're not attorneys.
You can tell we all learned that.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to get in trouble.
Let's see if what he says. I know there's
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So Derek, specifically to you, do you fill in the blanks of the contract?
or do you write actual, we fill in the blanks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kimberly said we fill in the blanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Derek said,
Yeah.
haha, we write it.
Attorney approves it.
Attorney
Okay.
Brewer.
Yeah, so that's what a,
Funky.
yeah.
Okay.
That's some
How-
experience. Talk about buyer
how many-
representation experience.
How many pages is your contract? Oh, yes.
What is it? Yeah, fill in the blank. Okay, Derek, come on. Be consistent. We're having a hard time following. But I do think Texas is very similar in that, and Florida has an option
Mm.
money
Yeah.
too. But the difference is that it's usually after appraisal, after inspections, and ours is the day you go into contract.
More-
So a big
Well, it's
difference
more
between.
anxiety.
we ride on the trunk of our car.
Joe, I am so sorry. I
Derek
did
said
like
7.
7 pages.
Seven. Yeah,
What?
ours is 17 pages.
Yeah.
We have a
Like a
17-page contract.
Gosh, we are up to that.
I just saw one in New
Yeah, we
Mexico,
are.
33. New Mexico is 33 pages.
With,
Yeah,
they
that's-
got sued a lot.
That's-
when I first got it, it was 6 or 7 pages.
Yeah.
It was super easy. And then every time, so it's funny too, to look at the additions because you know it's an addition because
Yeah.
somebody got sued for it.
Yeah.
And once, so you're like the one that kills me is like as far as a fixture,
Yeah.
the wall-to-wall carpet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, somebody got pissed off and cut out the carpet and rolled it up and took
Yeah.
it. Like what?
For me, it's the light bulbs. Like,
Yeah.
Light bulbs
Really?
and the blinds. The-
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
blinds have been arguing points
Yeah.
between buyers and
Yes, that's-
sellers. Yeah.
The
Shelves in
curtains
the
piss people off.
shelves
Cindy-
in the
TV
garage.
mount.
Yeah.
Cindy's
TV mounts. That's a
That
weird
is-
one because when you leave the TV mount, you're not
don't have to
leaving
leave
the
the other part.
brackets.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a fixture in it, and it's in our contract. And I think that's such a strange thing.
Agreed.
I think you should take them out and patch.
Cindy's is getting close to
wall.
her. She has the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so she's just a couple pages behind.
Yes.
What does she win?
It'll happen.
Cindy, you win a big hug at R4. Can't wait to see you, Chicago Cindy.
I'll say,
She
next
shares my
next year
favorite
hers will
color.
probably be 17.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Very good. So then what are y'all seeing within your market specifically as far as prices, as far as concessions, as far as days on the market? What do you guys think?
Concessions are starting to get cut. Builders are starting to strip them out. Where they were offering $25,000, they're starting to get a lot more leery and pull back and do 2 or 3, per month. There's something that's because we're starting to see multiple offers again.
Yep.
There was a house in Apex that I think had 3 or 4 offers and went like 30,000 over.
Mhm.
I submitted an offer last week that had, I think it was 5 offers. That was rough.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get more aggressive. Spring market's kicking up.
Yeah.
Listings that had no showings at all
Yeah.
are getting 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, so January was to me, January was super slow.
It was dead.
It was dead, but holy cow, it has definitely picked up a lot.
February came swinging.
Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, similarly, like we're seeing more and more listings that are coming on the market, and that's very, I think, in line with spring market in general. But yeah, more buyers are coming out, even with interest rates still hovering, at the high sixes. More and more, but like, nope, we're ready to go, and ready to purchase. So like, there's more and more multiple offers, but even all of that to say, like, then average price point is still increasing year over year.
So you are
Yeah.
seeing that? So
Yeah.
some areas I've talked to, Texas has had a drop in their average sales price. So we've actually gone up 11% from last year.
Yeah, 10%.
10%, 11%. What's yours?
So mine's the entire triangle region. So some spots are definitely a lot lower end than higher end, but I mean, it's only been 1%.
Yeah.
Okay.
But but I think that gets to a more stabilized market.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, that's fair.
that's when I first got into real estate like 17 years ago, I would tell people your house will increase 1 to 3%.
Mhm.
That was pretty normal. So I think you're like within that normal range. What about yours?
I was gonna say, concessions are still a thing in our market.
Yeah.
I have seen multiple offers, but I
Yeah.
mean, even with multiple offers, typically there's still concessions
Yeah.
on the offers. I haven't seen super concessions like 25,000. That's way out of
Yeah.
line.
Well,
It's
For a
very
new build.
yeah,
New build.
the builders are bleeding my lender dry
interesting.
because anytime we go there,
There's now that are offering like mega concessions, and then there's other local builders that are not so much offering anything. It just kind of depends. But one of the things that I noticed is just the fact that overall new listings are down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah,
down.
even from last year, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
and the crazy part is 50% roughly of our market is new construction.
Yeah.
So,
That's a
but
lot.
let-
It's heavy.
a lot.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
that's
But
a
let's
lot.
be clear, if you're wanting to buy a house, you don't wait because the
Yeah.
inventory is low. If you're waiting for the prices to drop, prices is not going to drop because we have no inventory. It's simple economics,
Yep.
supply and demand.
When you're either
Yeah, it
going to
is.
protect yourself, you're going to win, or you're going to completely lose.
Yeah.
Because you can get it at a 7, and you get lucky, and in a year you refi down to 5.
Yeah.
Or you can get it at a 7, and in a year it's 9, and now you can't afford to buy a house anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
mean,
right.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in your area as far as price and concessions?
So I just, before I even hit into Charlotte, I just thought of two things. As far as buyer representation is concerned, your buyer agent should be able to tell you, or your loan officer, if doing a buy down on your interest rate is worth it right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you might not. So you might have a loan officer that's like, oh, you don't like the interest rate, you can buy it down, and you'll spend $5,000 on a buy down. But at the end of the year, the interest rates go back down where you could have saved $5,000 and then refi at the end of the
Right.
year. You need someone with experience to be able to guide you through that.
Yeah, even when it's the lender, and I think that's when you get an experienced agent, they can help you find that
Yeah.
local experienced lender.
Yeah,
which is super important.
absolutely.
So about prices, what are you seeing in prices?
So Charlotte is on an uptick. So we do have a higher percentage of inventory by about 6% this year. Our closings are down a little bit, but what's super interesting for Charlotte is that our average price has gone up 15%
Oh, wow.
since January of 2023.
Wow.
So Charlotte is also a unique metropolitan city. We are the second largest banking capital in the country, next to New York City. So we're not a major hub, but we are always on a growing path.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new people that are coming down to the Carolinas, as you all know.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone loves our climate. Everyone loves
Taxes.
our tax break.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even Florida, I've
Yeah.
seen, this is the first
come back.
time, in the past 2 years, year and a half, that I've seen Floridians moving to North Carolina.
Mm.
And it's because they're having a hard time with insurance.
Yeah.
Because 18 insurance companies
Yeah.
went out of business because of all the hurricanes Florida's getting.
Yeah.
do you agree, Dean? Since you're the Florida person I see on there.
Well, I'm telling you, I had like 6 from Florida. So what did Cindy, why can't, so what
Cindy said multiple offers.
did you
just
say up there
got-
about Zillow? I see
Do you
Zillow.
guys do Zillow? If so, ask your reps how many available properties in the zip codes. We have so many markets with 100 properties and 75 under contract.
Oof.
So Zillow is not, I mean, I don't know if you say, do you do Zillow? Does that mean, do you
Buy
advertise?
Zillow leads.
Yeah,
Probably.
But she's talking about, but then they could tell you how many are in, like Zillow does not own homes in my area yet. So I think, is that what she's talking about? Like you could talk to Zillow about the homes that they,
I think it's just specific markets, like based off of zip codes,
Yeah.
I think is what she's saying.
I think it's buying
To
buying
see-
leads and finding out that there's no leads to actually.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't buy leads off of Zillow. I used to. I have found Zillow went down years ago, so I don't do that.
But Cindy also said she's getting multiple offers from $35,000 over. Our
Wow, that's
Gee,
good. That's
yeah.
good. That's really good.
Well, Charlotte's getting into multiple offers again too, but I will say that I'm still able to negotiate concessions.
Agreed.
So on a $535,000 house, I was able to negotiate $5,000 in closing cost coverage for my buyer, and even on a $260,000 house that I closed on last year, representing the buyer, they ended up getting over almost $9,000 in total,
Wow.
even on a $260,000 home.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah, I would say with regarding concessions, it's more negotiating repairs that
Yeah.
we're seeing
Yeah.
more than like concessions for closing cost credit or something along those lines. Yeah, we're so thankful we're in a market where we can get our buyers negotiated repairs.
Well, it's nice that now you're able to negotiate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in 2022, you couldn't, I mean, it was like, oh, let's still do appraisals. Let's still do home inspections. Let's just offer. And that was not a fun market. That was
No.
a scary market. Now you're able to negotiate, which is
Yeah.
awesome. What about days on market? What do you guys are seeing as
Oof.
compared to last year?
we're at 4 day on the median is in Charlotte. It's 4 days on market right now.
No, is that from, so ours showed from contract to close. Obviously, that's not contract to close. Is
No,
that
that's
under
just
contract?
days on market. Yeah,
Okay.
total average is right around from list to close 29 days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is that similar to what it was last year? Has it gone up, down?
It's gone down. So through the
Wow.
through the end of 2023 and into 24, our average or our median days on market have decreased. We were 9 days as a median. Now we're at 4 days.
Wow.
So
What are,
Ours has gone up.
yeah, mine's gone
Yeah,
up too.
it's 63.
Yeah,
in
mine's
our market.
52.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
similar. And so Mandy and I we're
close.
bordering, she's
Yeah.
an hour from me, but we border where I go to and then where I pass it off to her.
Yeah, it's still in that like 40 to 60 range, like throughout the triangle, pulling each
Yeah.
individual. It's things are sitting a lot more. People are still in that COVID pricing,
But you know what?
surprisingly.
But I think it's nice that it's sitting a little bit longer, Steven. I'm sorry. I like it. I mean, it's not, when I first got into real estate, things were on the market for 9 to 12 months. 30 or 40 or 50 days on the
Yeah,
market gives you
it's
time to
still
go and
pretty-
look at it.
yeah.
Yes.
It's still short. That is
Yeah.
still very much a seller's market.
It is definitely a seller's
Yeah.
market. What do you?
We're at 23 days,
Wow.
whereas last year it was 17.
Wow. So last year we were at 32. Now we're at 52.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that so one thing on Charlotte is we are the second largest banking capital, but
I would tell you, I can't stand Charlotte.
well, most people know this,
I
but
mean, I love you, but I hate Charlotte.
Charlotte's busy. Well, they just
Charlotte's
filmed
busy.
Love Is
With
Blind
infrastructure.
was filmed in Charlotte, so like there's a huge attraction from there as well. I think there was
Gotcha.
another.
Like-
Yeah. It doesn't really make us look good on the dating pool side. But there's a lot of draws to the Charlotte market. It's become more and more popular for better or worse. So
It's too, man, I'm telling you, when I took my youngest daughter, Grayson, which I just got to see, to tour the College of Charlotte.
yeah, UNC Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 25 lanes to get there. We were sweating. She was driving. She had to pull over. Then I had to take over driving. We missed the turn. Oh my God. I'm
What's-
not used to that.
What's so funny
It's
is
like little New York.
UNC, University of North Carolina, Charlotte is way outside of Charlotte City, Charlotte proper.
Well, I
So-
can't even imagine what the damn traffic is there then, because I'm telling you, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Although Dawn said, but she's Virginia, and the ugly part of Virginia.
That's amazing.
Crate that's got multiple contracts, 50 to 100 candidates
That's
with,
wild.
with potential escalation.
Go Dawn. Yeah, we don't have escalation clauses in
Yes,
North
CS
Carolina.
said, what,
Yeah,
days on the market
yeah,
is 90
they-
days. in New
Who's
York.
that?
Sia's got 90.
Yeah.
Cindy's
Wow.
only 15. Chicago's still hot.
Yeah.
Hi, Colleen.
Colleen.
And hi- and hi, Rich.
Colleen.
Yeah.
Hi, Rich, but no. He
What
wants
is
us
it?
to start over
You
because he
can
got here
start from the
late.
beginning.
Oh, you can just watch it, Rich. Although I love Rich. He sends me clients a lot too. So what about inventory? What's your perspective inventory? We'll go to ugly Queen City.
I know. I was
now.
gonna say, do you want to talk about the Queen City? I know you're not a fan of it. our closings have decreased, but our listings have increased this year. 6%. We have a rise in new listings. Our under contracts are down, our closings are down, and then our price point's up though, 15% from last year. You know, that's quite a bit. So, and there is a little bit more inventory. Charlotte stabilized. 21 was like a ridiculous year. 22 was okay. 23, you saw a pretty significant trend, and now there's more flexibility for the buyer, in my opinion. So I think I've been able to better represent my buyers in the 23-24 year because things are sitting on the market for a couple more days. Yeah. Just a couple more days. So, but inventory is up.
Yeah. I was to say, overall, our inventory is down. It may change. I mean, we have a kind of a weird situation with military. It's PCS season. It usually starts
So
like
you have to
April.
tell us what that means.
So it's when most people move military.
What does
They
that mean,
tend to-
PCS?
Permanent change of station.
Okay.
It's like when you get orders to go elsewhere. And it usually, a lot of people tend to do that during the summertime. So that's when it normally gets crazy. But it hasn't been as much this past 2 years.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of see. But everything, I mean, honestly, it's like sold's down, pending's down.
Well, because
Even
there's nothing to sell.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, our inventory, we have 1.7 months supply of inventory. And what that means is if everything stops listing today, it'll take 1.7 months to sell everything out there. So that is still a seller's market.
Yep.
It is considered a neutral market or a balanced market at 4 to 6 months. Above 6 months would be a buyer's market. So we're still in,
Got a ways to go.
yeah, it's still in the seller's market. But I'm telling you, when I first got in real estate back in 2007, I would tell people, you had to sign a year-long listing agreement with me because it was going to take 9 to 12 months. I mean, our saturation rate, we get 10 months supply of
Wow.
inventory. So 1.7, you're like, holy cow, I've never seen this really. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're at 1.9.
Yeah.
Now,
So similar.
the new listings have kicked up year over year, but we're down 25% with our inventory homes.
Yeah.
So it's getting tighter, and it's going to just be, I think it's going to be another ugly bidding war as April kicks.
So I have a question for you because you said a lot, 50% in your area is new builds.
Yeah.
Is that mainly, because I think Wake Forest is like up and coming. There are tons of new builds. Is that in Raleigh as well?
Yeah, Raleigh's getting it
wow.
more so outskirted.
Yeah.
And north, like a little bit north Raleigh. Wake Forest for sure. Franklinton, which is out past Wake Forest, is getting it. Nightdale's booming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Because I think you start seeing like the big
It's
town
just-
of
well, it's
Raleigh's
bleeding.
kind of built up. So then you start.
Well,
getting
that's
the
what's
outskirts.
created it. I mean, there were dirt roads not that long ago
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
spots, and Raleigh just started to bleed, and it's bled into Clayton now,
Yeah.
which is bled into Willow Springs, which is bleeding into areas that you never thought would have a house for sale.
Yeah.
You thought it would just be a trailer for $100K.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting there saying, yeah, it's 500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd said it 5 years ago to anyone,
Nobody believe it.
they would have laughed.
There's
at
a
you.
lot coming to your area though. You have an entertainment district that's like coming up, some like 200-acre
You
like
can walk and drink in
production.
the street now, so that's
I
Wow.
saw that
that's
too, yeah.
a big deal downtown, There's a
Especially in the
section for
Bible
that.
Belt.
Well, but downtown always has that. I always did the live at 5. And when I was in high school.
It's decent. It
Okay,
depends
literally.
It
Let's
depends
don't-
if you
let's don't
talk
look
to
at that map.
Steven.
On what?
Is it the ugly debate of like a city?
Oh,
has a city,
Raleigh
I
versus
don't have a
Charlotte.
city.
Yeah.
His is a city. mine's
Charlotte's
not
a city.
so-
Raleigh's. It doesn't. It's
Here we
it's
go.
not the
Let him crack into it.
No.
Okay, I'll be here.
We'll do that post call
I like Raleigh a lot better than Charlotte.
because it's quieter. Yeah.
It's better. Better.
It's not necessarily quieter. It just makes sense. Like the roads make sense. Like life makes sense.
You're
there.
not
I mean,
stressed out driving.
God knows. Charlotte
getting
gives me a heart attack. And Atlanta does too, to be clear.
For
Inventory.
inventory, yeah, we're year over year. We're kind of just
Kelli,
year over year, but we're at 1.7 month of supply, so it's still
Similar.
still got a long ways to go before we're at a balanced market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please sell your homes.
Yes.
Please,
yes,
yeah, please.
yes. Yeah, that's
Buyers
right.
do want your home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. And to be clear, at some point it's going to shift. So if you want to sell, now's when you're going to get. I mean, you missed that market. If you wanted to get 2022 prices, that's gone. That's gone. So we're dealing with today's prices, which is still low inventory. Prices are still going up, not going up as fast, thank goodness.
Mhm.
But they're still going up. So now's an excellent time. What do you offer? Somebody says
No,
something.
Cindy
Yeah.
said the accents. Yeah.
North Carolina. Yeah, but
We've got a little southern twang.
So,
to
yeah,
us.
who has an accent? That's the question. I
Yeah,
get told I don't necessarily have one, but
Yeah, I get told that I have a draw from time quite often.
I never
don't
get
think-
told I get to have an accent.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm
I
teasing.
thought so.
I'm teasing. No, so my Mark is from Chicago, and his mom, the first time I met her like 10 years ago, she was like, "What is she saying?" And I'm like, "I'm not deaf. I can hear you, and I can understand you." And she was like, "Oh, you talk," and I'm like, "He moved here."
Yeah, yeah.
y'all do.
Y'all
There
do.
you
I
go.
love it.
Some
Love
of our
it.
markets are
staple.
melting pot,
Yeah,
so it's
for
not
sure.
fair for us to have a thick accent because, you know, especially if you're in a military town, you got people coming from
Everywhere.
everywhere, so it
But
kind of
they-
gets
but I'm
diluted.
telling
On the
you-
phone, I do.
Yeah.
But they
And when I'm talking to my
enjoy-
grandparents.
but I'm
Hey,
telling you,
Mama.
people coming here, and we're a melting pot. I mean, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, Florida, everywhere. And I am truly one of the unicorns that are born and raised in
Yep.
Wilmington. However, people like the accent. They are moving to the South for
Well,
a
it's
reason.
Southern
Yeah,
hospitality.
Southern
Yeah.
hospitality.
Hospitality.
It's
They're
a
like-
real
To
thing.
develop that
You're-
same. they
You're
try
not a
to.
jerk. It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Well,
Well,
the only
it's a
time it's not
safer
handy
way.
is like, for example, if you're like doing a couple laps around the track, everyone waves at you every
Yeah.
single time you go
Yes,
around the
Yes,
track.
yes.
That's
That's
being in the
encouragement.
South.
So it's funny. So
Kids be
Wilmington,
gone.
Closes for lunch.
Right.
so born and raised in Wilmington, and Wilmington, the population, I mean, we're only at 115,000 people, but it has gone up 203% since 1969, right?
Wow.
So funny enough, my parents owned the only automotive repair shop my entire life. They owned it for 32 years. When I was growing up, I could cross the street. And if I didn't say hey to Miss Betty crossing the street at the same time,
Mama got a call.
I got in trouble. By the time I got home, my mom was like, "You're grounded." Why?
Yeah.
You didn't say hey to Miss Betty. When did I see her? Like I wouldn't even have paid attention to see
Yeah.
her. And then when I got into my adolescence and started getting like a little bit of rambunctiousness in school, oh, that did not go well.
Yeah.
I would sit in the back of the classroom with my braces and flick my rubber bands.
Oh.
Yeah, I got grounded a long time ago.
Midwest is good, Cindy.
Yes.
That's right. I'm from
We-
the
Yeah,
Midwest, I get
Chicago is
We love our Northerners too.
one of my
Before I
favorite
get in
big
way
cities.
big trouble after this.
Yeah, we love all the Northerners. Just say that people that move here like to move here because it's the South and they
Are-
expect our
Are all of
accent.
y'all from North Carolina?
I'm actually
Born
from
in-
You're
Pennsylvania.
from Pennsylvania?
Born and raised in
Born and
Charlotte.
raised in
Yeah.
Charlotte?
Another
Born and
unicorn.
raised,
Okay.
born and raised in Raleigh.
I'm
yeah.
from Iowa, but have been here 22, 23
You're-
years.
yeah.
So you have a very neutral accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually think Midwesterners tend to have a neutral accent.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So wrapping up.
But your parents, the office I'm in,
Yeah, so that's the crazy
that's a
thing.
fun story.
Yeah, that's a really fun story. So when Brandon said he was in Raleigh, I was like, if I had any chance to do Wake Forest, my grandparents used to own a department store in Wake Forest, and I sent him because they're in the museum they were there 50 some years, and I sent it to him, and he was like, that's actually the office that I'm in was my grandparents' old
No.
department store.
Yeah.
Yes, and my grandparents used to walk to work when Wake Forest only had one stoplight. I have another funny story about Wake Forest. When I was 16, I was staying with them for the weekend, and I was doing like cruise up and down the street, Main Street,
Oh,
and I met a boy, and I got his phone number. And when I got home, my grandmother was appalled. I mean, she could not believe that I had come home with the boy's phone number. And then when she saw who it was, she's like, "Oh, that's the local dentist's son. He's good." Took it classified as it was okay.
That was the seal of approval.
Yes, but Wake Forest is not like that anymore. There's a lot
No.
of stoplights.
yeah, ton of stoplights, apartments, buildings are going up on every single corner.
Yeah.
It's busy, and
Yeah.
people are angry.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Carolinas are growing. I mean,
Very
across
much.
the state, from the west to the coast,
Yes.
you know, it is the place to be. You know, Northeasterners, they go to Florida, they vacation there all their lives. They can't make it a year. They come halfway back up
Yep.
to the
Yeah.
Carolinas.
We have seasons.
Yeah, we have seasons.
Yeah.
Although we haven't had snow in Charlotte
It's
has.
like-
Seasons, but they're
It's like
mild
2
seasons.
years.
Mild.
It's over
It's terrible.
780
I'm not upset about
something
it.
days. Yeah. But all the people that are from
I
way
do
up
berries.
north where they get, buried,
Yes.
Yeah.
they love,
Yeah.
especially like Buffalo. Yeah. So I feel for you, Colleen. I know that snow is like
Yeah.
quite a
Cindy.
big deal. Yeah.
Cindy asked about any new marketing ideas.
Ooh.
Oh, Cindy,
Oh,
that's a
God.
good one. I've started doing Lux VT marketing, which has been really good.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed that. And that does to like Wall Street Journal,
Rob Report.
Rob Report. It goes, that is for the luxury market. Other than that, I mean, honestly, TikTok, I hate to say that, but it's been really good actually.
Well, you've been doing some cute ones.
And the one today was really great.
Yes.
So that was at my open house. The one today, my daughter was there. She's better at it than I am. But what about marketing report? I mean, what are y'all doing for marketing?
I also do Lux VT
Yeah.
quite a bit, and it's great because you can do it for luxury and non-luxury.
Yeah.
The exposure that your clients are able to get, even in non-luxury properties, is quite large. I mean, global exposure. So that's been something that I've
Yeah.
utilized quite a bit lately.
Yeah, and social media. I mean, social media is great. I mean, I put something on YouTube and boosted it, and I got like 5,000 views on it. So I mean, it is getting that exposure.
Yeah.
What are you
I
doing?
was
Anything?
gonna say social media.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I've tried to elevate my social media presence. Cindy was asking me the other day about my videos, and that's part of my elevating the social media presence. But it's really paid off, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I'm marketing. That's a lot of seller marketing. Mine's a lot of like buyer marketing.
Yeah.
It's just been going back to basics. I mean, I started
Mhm.
coaching with the core so they can get a plug. Maybe give me a month.
that's right. Come on, bud. He's giving you some. He's giving you some love.
Like 2 months ago, and it's just going back to basics. I mean, similar to Buffini as well. It's personal relationships.
They're
So
super
many
important.
people are like, let's just text, and texting's just awful.
Yeah.
Phone calls,
Especially for our
phone calls,
generation.
belly to belly,
Donna.
getting right up in your face. That's
Yeah.
It's what we need. So it's different pop by ideas, or it's mailing
Yeah.
cards to them, or it's calling them. It's just
Yeah.
being intentional and actually reaching back out because. I had one and we sent a pop by and they were like, I haven't heard from him in 2 years. And I was like,
Yeah.
crap, I really screwed that
Yeah.
up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2 years is terrible.
Yeah.
I do Popeyes.
Yeah,
I think
I'm-
they're excellent.
Yeah, I'm a big Buffini nut, so
Yeah.
I'm all about the notes, the calls, and
Yeah.
the pop buys, and really, you're right, being intentional and about those contacts. And I love doing like client events, and
Yeah.
it really is back to basics. And
Yeah.
So Cindy, tell us what you're doing for marketing. Teach us. Do you have anything new? New
Yeah.
ideas? Anybody out there? What do you do for marketing?
They
That's
talked
a great
about
the
idea.
YouTube.
popsicle pop-up.
Maureen
She
says
said-
they talked about YouTube at Celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah.
They always talk about YouTube at Celebration. That is Karen Carr. It's got to be Karen Carr that was talking about it. I've been twice in a row that I love Karen. She has great ideas.
Yeah.
But
I went to all different classes in the morning, so I don't know who
Yeah.
she saw.
But that's how I learned about StreamYard, and that was the idea
Mhm.
between.
Well, I've
Me
been
doing
focusing on YouTube. So
Yeah.
listing videos are starting. There's going to be a lot of different content coming up in the coming months.
Yeah.
Trying to do,
Yeah.
batch out one a week.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
It's just exposure period. Anything that you can do to get out. And what I love about social media is I read Jordan Cohen's book all the time. It's one of my absolute favorite books to read. And the way that he describes social media is you are there passively for the audience. So the consumer gets to go to your Instagram, they get to go to your Facebook, your YouTube, and they get to see the things that you're teaching on a day-to-day basis, absent of you actually personally being there.
Yeah.
So they already build this trust with you. And by the time that you connect with that person, they feel like they know you.
Yeah. So whether it's social media or Lux VT, we are finding people that don't even know we're Wilmington or
Yeah.
Charlotte or Jacksonville or Raleigh or Winston, where they even are in North Carolina. They're just searching the internet, and then we pop up, and that's I think that is extreme
Yeah.
exposure. I mean, really international exposure.
Yeah.
Anybody say anything about marketing?
I know Susan said I know Jordan's book. I love Jordan's book.
Cindy
Yeah. It's
responded
a good book.
What did
Cindy said
Oh.
lift Thursday, no show till Friday, 3 to 7, open 12 to 2.
6 offers.
It's open house.
I thought she was responding. I was waiting. I was like,
marketing? How are you
I was like,
marketing that?
Yeah, yeah.
She's
Well, just-
postponing the showings, I think, and making showings
And-
limited.
Maureen said it was not Karen. They
Yeah.
talked about YouTube.
Uh,
So
Did you
So-
see Rich's post? Rich posted something about he's incoming soon and received an offer like 20K over asking.
Well,
So for
it's a
us,
wig in the door.
and how does it do for coming soon? So for us, it's changed in MLS. coming soon counts as the days on the
Exactly,
market.
that's market.
Yeah.
So it is not beneficial for us to
No.
do coming
not
soon
anymore.
because it accrues
Your
days on
Yeah.
the market. And then the public says, what's wrong with the house? Because it's been on the market
Right.
20 days. Is that,
It
Yeah,
hasn't
same.
been as much of an issue in the past 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
It was an issue like a year and a half ago when it popped out.
Yeah.
Because it came out and it was just sudden, and all of a sudden people were racking days up like crazy because the agent was telling them to do it because they didn't pay attention to the fact that they got an email that said they're now
Yeah.
active days. So
Right.
it caused a lot of strife
yes.
when it came out.
Yes. And you have to be careful. Us, like, you can have it coming soon for 30 days, but you can't let anybody in. And if you do, it's a fine. It's a
Yep.
fine to everybody. I think it's a $2,000 fine to agents. I don't see the benefit in coming soon today in this market.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I did do them in the past.
Agreed. Same.
Cindy said signs everywhere.
Yeah.
Amen. That is
Yep.
true.
That
Yes.
good original, like you said, face out there.
Oh, I have one. I have one that's been working. This is interesting. Coming soon every day. It's just I will send you a copy of one. I've got it in the other office. But it says coming soon. I'm not coming soon every day. Goodness sake. Sorry. Open house every day.
Oh,
It says open house every day,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
has our phone number. And so people are calling every day, right? And it's been wonderful to get the buyer leads in there as well. But the open house every day has been a really
Yeah.
good one as far as getting that attraction even more.
That's just got to be a nightmare, Maureen.
Yeah.
They can't
No
have signs on
signs.
Hilton Head. It's too.
Yeah.
So
it's too
some of
big.
our
Very
neighborhoods,
very
we can't have
hoity-toity.
Yeah,
signs.
some of our
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Such a pain when
Yeah.
you're talking to a buyer in the car. You get slightly distracted and then you're.
Oh, you miss it.
You're like,
yeah.
bored,
An
because there's
agent,
nothing
yeah,
like-
agent problems.
Yeah.
Agent problems.
I ain't gonna lie, Cass.
I will tell you, that is true, because I'll come
I
up
do
and I'm like, which house is it? Oh, yes, the one with the sign in the yard.
I passed them. Yep.
Yeah.
Rich said no issues with days on market. Coming soon
It's 14.
is 14. They
Yeah.
can do it.
Oh, nice. Good.
Not
It's
even
not
open
even
house.
Open
signs.
house.
Wow.
Wow.
That's interesting. You couldn't even do an open house sign for a day.
Non-gated areas.
Well, and there's certain portions, and you may be dealing with this too, especially with your market being similar to mine. Certain neighborhoods are trying to elevate themselves.
Yeah.
So you have to buy a special sign.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is branded to only their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I
And
saw.
they put it out there for you. So it's funny because Elizabeth Baker, I saw one of her posts, and she'll
Which one?
drive.
Yeah, which one?
with drive her car with open house signs all over her car and park it in the driveway. So it's not in their
Oh.
yard,
Yeah.
but it's a workaround.
Oh, she knows how to find it.
Creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagination and being
If
creative.
there's somebody
absolutely.
that will slap an HOA around, it's Elizabeth Baker.
I've got to meet her. I have not met her yet.
Oh, she
I have her earrings.
Yeah.
I'm looking- I'll wear
Everybody's
them
got
out
her
for her, so-
earrings. I almost took some to when I was in Europe last year. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they met Elizabeth and they were like, I called when I travel, I like to go to the Remax offices abroad.
Oh,
And so I had
you gonna
connected-
Do it?
Do what?
Are you gonna bring up Italy again?
No, oh yeah.
Thought it was coming.
The guy wanted, I don't know if it was for his wife or whatever, whatever the case may be, but he was like, hey, if you can get Elizabeth Baker's earrings, bring them to me. But I wasn't going to his region in Spain, so I didn't
And
get
funny
to
enough,
connect
I
with
told
him.
Elizabeth that she quit doing the earrings, and I said, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, other people are doing earrings." I was like, "But you were known
The original.
Yes.
for
Yeah.
doing." Ear-" I mean, I remember when I first met Elizabeth years ago, I waited in line of like 50 people to get the damn
Yeah.
earrings.
Well, I thought she hated me because I never met her, and I walked up at the Carolinas party at R4, now almost 3 years ago at this point. And I asked, and I swear she just stared at me like she was wildly confused. But I wore it the whole concert, and I have all 4 of them still in my backpack. So,
Representing, absolutely.
but I think she liked it. That's weird.
Yeah, I think she likes everybody.
Just took time.
Yeah. Wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You know, just for reference, I've been watching how many people have been engaged with us. We've been at 15 and 16 viewers almost the entire time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive for how long we've
Thank
gone on.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
a pretty
usually
show.
I say,
Yeah, with the pre-show shenanigans.
yeah, I say usually people are good for like 15 minutes, right? I had an agent years ago that said people don't watch porn for more than 5 minutes. They don't want to watch you for more than 5 minutes either. Like, this is more entertaining.
I was gonna say, I think we're far more entertaining. You never know what you don't. So with porn, you know what to expect.
We
Or
don't
maybe
have
you
to go
don't.
there.
But with us, you might not know what's gonna pop up like just now.
I think we need some more bourbon.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I'll sit
Thank
for that.
y'all for joining. Cheers. And we love the Remax family. Certainly appreciate everybody out there. Love the referrals, love the connections, love everything.
Love you too. See ya.
Yeah. And love Sia. Brooklyn Sia. Okay. My first time I met Sia was years ago at our four. I have a funny story. And I was talking and I said something about y'all. And she was like, "What? I'm going to try to say this." No. And she was like, "No, I can't do it. I can't make myself say it." With
So
her Brooklyn accent.
what do you say if you don't say y'all? What do you say?
You.
all.
Yeah,
Well,
I usually
just
stretch
you.
it.
No, like so,
Yeah,
like
you.
No, I just say
like
you.
you're talking
as
to,
well.
yeah, just you.
Us or
Yeah.
someone else.
Well, anybody. Like if you walk up. So my second,
I say y'all.
my runner-up is hey hey.
Oh, that's hey y'all.
Yeah, instead of
Like
hey
that.
y'all. Like if
It's just hey.
because you want to understand your audience, like
Sure.
who you're speaking to.
Sia said you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are
You
guys.
you guys. Yeah.
Pennsylvania, and they
You.
is that where's yous? That's
Well-
not her. No, not it's not Brooklyn. She says you guys. Somebody does say yous guys.
Well, my cousin
My
Vinny.
cousin Vinny does.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
Okay, but really out there, who says yous guys? What part of the country says yous guys?
Is it
New
the
York
Midwest?
City.
It is. I think it is the Midwest because I swear my broker says it. He claims you guys.
Look, listen.
Chicago.
I don't know about that.
Not Iowa.
No, wait. He
Not
doesn't
Iowa.
say that. He says.
What do you
He
think?
says I says.
I mean, my cousin is New York. I was gonna say New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not-
I don't
We
know.
have
Yeah,
New York,
thank
it
you,
is
Cindy.
something.
Cindy says no, not the Midwest.
Yeah.
Not claiming it.
Thanks, Cindy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, we'll see everybody at R4, whoever's going to be there. Is everybody going?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
well,
yes.
No.
Everybody,
Yes.
I'll see you
You're
guys
not?
there.
No.
Okay, and we'll see everybody but Kelly.
FOMO already.
You can
Okay,
still.
I'm going to turn this off. Woo-hoo.
Ciao.